What is happening? Welcome back to another episode of Opinions from Offside. I've got to start by saying Chris Waddle, Alan Shearer, Paul Gascoigne, Cheryl Cole, Greg North. Are you watching? Your boys took a hell of a beating. This gloating aside, because it's not something I normally do. What on earth happened there? Weren't expecting that.
Ant and Deck, James North, my other brother, let's get them all involved. You know what I mean? Jimmy Nail, get them all involved.
Jimmy Nail.
What's his name? Seven Savage when he's a footballer. Alfie St. Pet, get it up here.
Bog on the tide. Sucking sickly sausage rolls. That must have been sickly for them yesterday. Newcastle United 0, West Ham United 2. And I'll tell you what, I was saying to the boy and to Abby beforehand when we were talking about the game, I was like, look, be prepared. We're going to get smashed. We're playing terrible. Newcastle are really good. We're going to get beaten. And Abby was like, you know, what's happening with the manager and that? And I said, well, he's got the Newcastle game and the Arsenal game. He's not going to get anything out of either. I said, probably by the time we go to the Wolves game, you know, he'll probably get the Leicester game. And after that, if there's no changes, no improvements, we'll probably be going to watch the new manager, whoever that will be, his first game at Wolves. And she was like, really, they're getting rid of Lopetegui? And I was like, I can't see us getting a result. Can't even see us getting a draw. And just, you know, to be fair to Newcastle, they still played good stuff. I know they won't think so, but they just couldn't finish. They couldn't finish the dinner. Like in the first half, Anthony Gordon had like a one-on-one with Fabianski. Like Sadibo made a mistake and the ball dropped at Gordon's feet on his strong foot, and Fabianski rushed out and blocked the shot. And I think that would have changed the circumstances. After a few minutes, Isaac broke through and dinked it over Fabianski, and it was pulled back for offside, and it was offside, but it was marginal. So if that had been timed different, you know, they'd have scored in the first couple of minutes. Isaac had a header as well that he was sort of stretching for, that he couldn't get on target. So they easily, if they converted their chances, it could have been a totally different game. But whereas I've been saying all year, there's just no green shoots of improvement or of a style of play from West Ham. Mate, Newcastle had a ferocious press. They were really getting after us on the press, high press. And we were popping it about, knocking it around, Fabianski doing step-overs and feints and laying it out to the full-back and all the rest of it. Like, we really knocked the ball about well. We had a different composition in the midfield. I don't know if you saw it. No, so there was no Alvarez, and I was worried about how slow Rodriguez is. Rodriguez didn't start. So the big difference, he had Souček sort of like an holding player, but he wasn't. He had license to get forward. He scored a header from a set piece, from a corner, which is the first one they've conceded this season. And it's the first set piece we've scored. And then he had Paqueta and Soler. So for the first time under Lopetegui's reign, he had two ball players. He had two actual passers in the midfield. And the difference was just night and day. Do you know what I mean? I think rather than having a CDM in there, we matched them up with a sort of 4-3-3. And then it's everybody win your individual battles and you've got a chance. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. You've got an attacking player, you've got a ball player who can move the ball, and you've got a holding midfield. It's one of those combinations that I speak about. Any team that plays a 4-3-3, I feel like that's what you have to have. Like you've seen it over the years, any team's playing 4-3-3, you've got teams like
the Leicester team.
Yeah, the Leicester team. But Chelsea did it as well. Chelsea had Makelele, Essien, Lampard, one to get forward, one to just run around and nail, and one safety. Liverpool did it when we had Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard. Most teams that play a 3, that's what you have to have in the midfield to do well. I don't think you can have two holdings if you want to be on the front foot. You have to have one and trust in your players.
Do you know, it was a case for West Ham. We won't talk all the episode about West Ham, but it was a case for West Ham yesterday where with the omission, the suspensions of Alvarez and Kudus, there was more balance. There was players in their proper position, round pegs in round holes. He didn't try to overcomplicate it by trying to get, you know, a centre backs to split and a midfielder to drop in between them. He didn't really. I know Souček did that to cover at times. It wasn't overcomplicated. And the biggest thing is when we played Newcastle last year, we were 3-1 up, lost 4-3. Because when we went ahead, Moyes wanted to shut up shop with 35, 40 minutes to go and was shitting his pants. Lopetegui, to his credit, didn't do that, and we kept playing and kept maintaining a threat, and it gave Newcastle something to think about. And then it wasn't just wave after wave of attack and booting it away and letting them come again. So, we looked like we were going to get a second. Like on the break, we did. Nearly got a third. That also, in fairness to Newcastle as well, they had a penalty shout, which wasn't a penalty. Callum Wilson, went up for an header, and Mavropanos was up with him, and his arm went across his shoulder, and he cleared it. But Wilson went down looking for a penalty. But the ref, sort of game it was, the ref didn't give anything to the Newcastle attackers, and he didn't give anything to the West Ham attackers. So he was consistent with that. He didn't ref the game great. I wouldn't be happy. I weren't happy with the ref, and I doubt Newcastle fans would be. But he let the game flow, and he let them be physical. Like Antonio actually got no change out of what's his name, Lloyd Kelly. And they were having a battle, and Antonio, he's such a strong player, such a beast. Just kept going down on the floor, going down on his arse, just throwing his arms about. Well, you realise after a couple of challenges, if the ref's not giving it, go and give it back. You know what I mean? Tit for tat.
Well, that weirdly enough leads us rightly onto what we're going to talk about first today. So you're talking about West Ham maybe being better as a team with some individuals going.
Yeah.
Have you seen Carragher taking on Salah about the comments he made?
No, not at all. So what comments? The ones that you had an objection about at the beginning of the season?
No, other ones. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that Carragher watches the podcast. That's what I'm saying, right? So,
of course he does.
Let me give you a brief breakdown of what is said. So basically, Jamie Carragher criticised Mohamed Salah for his recent comments about his contract situation with Liverpool, calling them selfish. Pretty sure I said something similar. Carragher expressed his disappointment, especially given the timing of Salah's comments ahead of a crucial match against Real Madrid and Manchester City. He emphasised that the focus should be on the Liverpool's success this season rather than individual contract negotiations. Carragher also mentioned that Salah is one of the top 5 players to ever play for Liverpool, but he believes the priority should be the team performance and achievements, not his individual situation. So basically, mirrors what you've just said there. Your team played better. Focus on the team ethic rather than just get the ball to Kudus and we'll defend. Get the ball to Kudus, we'll defend. So this is where we spoke about this before when Salah mentioned about the contract situation before. Honestly, what are you getting out of this? Like, if you're Salah there, you're doing nothing but distraction. So, and then what happened 2 weeks later, or if it was the week after, we lost to Nottingham Forest. I mean, I'm not saying it's because of that, but why? This game's nothing. If they ask you about your contract situation, listen, that's in the hands of my agent. I trust in my agent. I trust in the club. I'm happy what I'm doing. All I'm focused on is our next game. That's the correct answer you would have been trained to do in media training. So why are you coming out going, well, I've not been offered a contract? Well, because that's not how contracts work. Liverpool can't just say to you, there's a contract. What do you think? They go through the intermediary to go through them to speak to you. So, right, let's get an agreement. And then they offer the contract. So don't pretend, Salah, you don't know this. So come on, play the game. And there's a great reason as to why they're not dealing with your contract first. If you're Liverpool now and you're looking right, Virgil van Dijk's contract's up, Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract's up, and Salah's contract's up. Right, your focus should be on Trent, unless we've gone to the point. Listen, Trent's going, and I think he is. I don't think we're going to be able to keep Trent. Then you look at Van Dijk. If you go to Salah first and go, right, oh well, Salah's on 400 grand a week now. Trent can then go, well, I'm just as important. I want that. Van Dijk can go, I'm just as important. I want that. So it makes sense not to do Salah's first. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you give Salah this, then it's just going to go, Salah wants 400, he wants 400, he wants 400. Then McAllister starts having a good season. Well, I think I should be on the same as that. Before you know it, you've got 6-7 players on 400 grand a week. Like, that's not how it works. You go by structure. So I just don't think, what is the point? I always think of risk and reward. What are you going to get out of this? I don't see anything. Clubs are already interested in you. If it is your last season at Liverpool, why are you pissing off the fans? Everyone loves you. They're singing your name. They've got a new song. Like, it's I don't know. I don't get the point in doing it. I remember last time you said you could understand it, but I don't get it.
So what did he actually say then? He just came out and said, I haven't even been offered a contract when he's been asked.
I've not been offered. Yeah, I've not even been offered a contract. As far as I know, I'm more out than in at Liverpool at the minute.
Oh, that is. Yeah, I can see why that would annoy the fans. So I'm going to play the devil's avocado card, though. Isn't it wrong way? Isn't it in the best interest of the club to? Well, isn't it in the best interest of the player to get his future sorted so it's not hanging over him? And isn't it in the best interest of the club, again, through the agent, but isn't it in the best interest of the club to tie up his future so that he can just get his head down and focus on the team? Surely it's a distraction if you don't know. And I don't know if he's got family, but if you don't know where you're playing, it's not just about football. You don't know where you're going to be living. You don't know what country. Are you going to be in Saudi Arabia? Are you going to be taking your wife there? Has he got kids that he needs to take out of school? Can you not see the argument that getting his future sorted would be beneficial because then the player's got peace of mind to focus on the task ahead?
Yeah, but you know what? For the first time ever, I'm going to devil's avocado, your devil's avocado. Uno reverse here. You're saying that. So with the club, right, let's start with the club. If they speak to Salah's agent and he says, right, this is what we want, and it's agreeable to Liverpool, contract's done. Yeah? That's fair to say. Yeah? Okay. On the player's point of view, if you're that bothered about the family, I don't want to rip my family and stuff, you've made enough money now. You'll never have to work again. Take a pay cut. The reason why it's not that Liverpool are trying to give him a pay cut. What we're trying to do is his basic will be cut and his incentive contract will be more. So as long as you're performing, your wages will be good. I mean, when I say good, I mean you'll still be the top earner. If you drop off, because at any point we've seen it. I mean, look how quickly Fabinho lost his legs at Liverpool. Like, you might not notice that, but his legs just went. He was good one season, and he just went boom, running in treacle. Like, bro, what has gone on there? But we've got him on a 3-year contract still on big wages. Liverpool have learnt that lesson. We're not going to do it again.
Yeah, so no,
take the incentive.
That's the hold up. That's the hold up, is it? It's the negotiations of his wages. So again, our devil's avocado, your devil's avocado to my devil's avocado, and that's a risk. But what age is Salah?
31.
So you're the wrong side of 30, but he's still producing world-class numbers.
Yeah.
And I guess his agent sees it. There's going to be plenty of suitors that will come in and pay that money.
Absolutely, but then don't bring up, say you want to sort it out for your family. You know what I mean? If you're happy, no, I know that. But if he's saying as an excuse, I want to know where my future is, mate. No, don't give me that, because that's families nowadays. You've got 2 kids. I'm sure he's got 2 girls and your wife. You said you're happy in Liverpool. You love Liverpool, the city. You love the fans. Great. If you want to stay, brilliant. If you don't want to stay, fine. Just either way, shut the fuck up. Let's focus. We're just about to play the 16-time European champions on Wednesday, where essentially we could almost knock them out. The team that's beat us in 2 Champions League finals in the last 4 years. The team that injured you in one of those finals. Or was it 6 years? No, it was 6 years. Injured you in one of those finals, so you missed it. Let's knock them out. Let's focus on what we're doing. Then the week after, we're about to play Manchester City, who are in a blip. How many times have we seen Man City struggling and then just turn up and go, right, you know what? Here we go. And just rock for the big game and then suddenly go on a run and don't lose a game for like 20 games. We've seen them do it many a time. Catching, well, when people say, oh, we were 8-point clear in the league before we played Man City, we weren't. We were 8 points clear. Man City had 2 games in hand and they had to play us. That's different. Yeah. So we know Man City can go on runs. So why are you having that comment? If you've got people asking you about your contracts, and listen, I have absolute trust in the club hierarchy and my agent. Right now, my focus is on football with the manager. I'm enjoying what I'm doing with Arne Slot. I'm loving the fact that other players are coming into it. I like the way, just shift the focus. What you would. I'd be pointing out to Conor Bradley playing behind me. It was great to play with him. As good as Trent is, this lad's really good as well. So yeah, that's what I'd be going. I'd be shifting it.
I think it adds. I think it adds weight to Salah's claim, though, and goes against your argument and Liverpool's argument. The fact that they haven't tied up Trent and Van Dijk, because if those 2 were already done, then it's just like then it comes back to Salah. You're just being awkward. But if they've not managed to get any of them over the line, it's almost like a standoff between all 3 players, because they're all waiting to see what the other one is offered and use it as leverage.
Well, I can understand why Liverpool wanted to wait until the new manager comes in, because he might come in and go, right, the way I want to play, this doesn't work. I understand that. I don't get the Trent one. Trent should have been tied down. I mean, Trent could have signed the contract a year ago, and he's not been done. So that's why I think Trent will be looking to leave. I think his
He'll
head's
go
been
Real
turned by
Madrid, won't
Madrid.
he?
Yeah, I think he'll go Madrid. We're apparently going to look at Tariq Lamptey of Brighton to replace him to play there with Conor Bradley. So they'll be fighting for the spot.
I don't know if he's Liverpool standards, but he's really quick. I like Lamptey. I like how fast he is. Got a lot of pace.
When he first burst onto the scene at Brighton, he was brilliant. He's just very injury prone, which is one of the reasons why I would probably look somewhere else. And unless he can prove his injury record, I'd probably try and look somewhere else. I mean, why not go and look at Frimpong at Leverkusen?
Yeah, that's where
I'd go. Yeah, that's where I'd go. Because especially if you've got Trent going to Madrid, that rules out Madrid. Barcelona can't afford anyone. Juventus, big teams in Italy have got no money. Now, the only other team you could see looking at Frimpong would be Man City, but he actually played for Man City's academy, so he might not want to go back there.
If you want one for the future, I would go Frimpong because you're going to get the same in a different way, not so technical, but you're going to get an attacking threat like what Trent offers. You're going to get that from Frimpong. He's played a few games even as a right winger because he can get forward. You know,
he's very good. Like very good Frimpong.
Wan-Bissaka, who we dug out yesterday, who doesn't do anything in the final third and pops up with a goal.
Oh, that's it. Just a curse. You even slated Souček.
No, what did I say about Souček?
Him and Rodriguez are as slow as Christmas.
Yeah, they are slow, but you know, the system suited him yesterday. I mean, Rodriguez is not a bad player. He's a World Cup winner with Argentina, but if you just let him sit in the CDM position and just let him marshal the back four, break play up like Makalele and pass it off to someone like Paqueta who could do something with the ball, it's all right. But when you've got your fullbacks high, you're playing a high line and just stretching the pitch and you're giving him more yards to cover, he hasn't got the recovery pace to do it. Whereas Wan-Bissaka has got recovery pace and he has got like a last-ditch tackle. And I know he scored yesterday and did well and he got forward a lot, still can't cross the ball. Like he's still never going to deliver crosses and lay on chances and that. But that aside, if you're looking at a right back, I think Conor Bradley's got a lot of potential anyway that you've already got as a youngster. But if you want to look at another youngster, go and look at Ivan Fresnada, right back. Still plays in Spain.
Who's he play for?
Not sure at the moment. I'm not sure if he's still definitely a Spanish team. I don't know if he's on loan.
Is this on your FIFA team?
Yeah. We talked about that and people laughing at that, but it's based on real reports, isn't it?
Yeah, you know I mean? It is. I remember Sky Sports did a segment for a while where they were talking about players, transfer window. They were talking about players, and they were using the Football Manager stats to give them an idea of what they can do in their metrics. And this is what teams like Brighton and that use, and Brentford. They look at the metrics.
Yeah, it's that Moneyball model, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's nice. So, but you know how it is. I know you've got a topic here.
I've got a topic for you. So let me know what you think about our part-time Pep, who is now 5 losses on the spin. Is he in trouble?
His career.
Is it the first time in his career? Is his head on a chopping block? They say no manager can last 6 defeats on the spin in the Premier League, or is he a different animal? He's got enough credit in the bank. And like you said earlier on, usually after Christmas, they go on a run of 15, 20 games. They're in the habit of winning. They catch up Liverpool. They catch up Arsenal. Teams that are just not as seasoned in getting over the line as them. Do you expect him to turn it round and come back strong? Or on the other side, the devil's avocado to that is he's an aging midfield. You forget. They got rid of Gundogan and he came back again, but he's sort of a bit part player for them in a way. They are really missing Rodri, which you pointed out weeks ago. De Bruyne has got to be 32, is
33.
he? 33. You know, that is an aging midfield. Is he going to stay around for a rebuild? Or is his time coming to the end? And then you've also got to factor the outcome of these court cases and what's going to happen. So what do you think?
I personally don't think he will stay for the rebuild. if he was going to stay for the rebuild, why would you not have taken a 3-year contract? I mean, bear in mind, I didn't realize this. I was speaking to someone about this in the club afterwards, a Manc fan. He spoke a little bit of sense, but he's Manc, so we had to be careful what he said.
Well, not completely, yeah.
Yeah. He said it right. What he said was right, just the way he said it was wrong. That's what I mean. So he was saying about, I didn't realize Pep's been there 10 years.
Yeah, he probably has.
Been there longer than 10 years because he was there. His first year was when Leicester won the league.
Yes. So what was that, 14, 15? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been there more than 10 years. So, because we were talking about, I said he's not actually overseen a rebuild. He's like, yeah, he has, because he's not. To me, what you're talking about, you're on about tweaks. So you're adding into, that's not a rebuild to me. At the minute, he's let the team get stale they brought in 170 million in the summer in sales, and they spent 38 on Savinho when there was midfielders that could have been got. And I tell you what, this is one I said to him and about Man City bringing in, and he laughed. And then about 20 minutes later, after we were watching the Liverpool game, he went, "That's a great shout, actually. I think that he'd do really well for us." I said to him, why the hell are Man City not looking at bringing Pogba in right now?
Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba. Right now, in that midfield, he won't get in, and he won't add something to it. What is that midfield lacking without Rodri? Kovacic is not the most athletic.
Pogba's barely played for 2 years and only plays for France and turns up when he wants to. His attitude's terrible.
Pogba,
I don't do better than
Pogba, not in a free transfer. You can't at the minute. You could bring him in right now.
Why does it need to be a free? Why does it need to be a free transfer? January transfer window's coming up.
That's still a month away. In 8 games time, they could be out of the league. They could literally
I've got a busy Christmas period coming up. I haven't really seen their fixtures though. I'll tell you this: there's another shout. Do you think he's regretting letting Cole Palmer go? Now we spoke about it weeks ago, but now.
But it's easy to say that now.
But I'm saying let's assess it now. We assessed it weeks ago, and we had our opinion then. But now we've got the benefit of hindsight. Has your opinion changed?
No. The decision was made at the time, which was right, the club and the player. Man City would never have known he'd have been the player that he is. Probably the best, to me, how he's played is last year is better than Bellingham. In the last year, he's been so good.
I agree.
The only reason that's happened is because of what he's been allowed to do at Chelsea and the freedom he's been given and what he's done. He strived it with both his hands. Fair play to him, but I don't think he'd have been that player at City. I don't see it. Like, Man City have these players in their academy that they could bring up now. You're telling me that Man City don't have a couple of midfielders that are decent on the ball who can play and athletic? What's the point in spending all that money into academy then?
Well, that's exactly a counter I would give you to Pogba. Like, surely there's somebody that's more consistent, with more potential, with more value money-wise, because as soon as you play Premier League, your price tag goes up and you're building for the future. Surely you've got someone in that Man City academy you'd rather have I'd rather have Lewis Orford, who we spoke about, out of our academy team than Paul Pogba. So, I'm not saying prime Paul Pogba. I'm not saying Paul Pogba on his day.
I get that West Ham. I get what you're saying at West Ham for that, because I've said this for years about Pogba. Pogba is one of the best midfielders around if you're winning. He's not
he's
tuck in. Yeah, but Man City are often on top in games. So imagine you've got, this is what I think, right, and this is what I would look at as a manager. In my point of view, Pogba's wage is not going to be a lot because of the situation. That's fine. You'll probably just give him a basic wage, especially if you've got the chance to play for City and show everyone you've got to prove something to everyone. You've got a chance to get back in the France squad. Now, all you have to, you're going to play for the better team. You are going to be the athletic one. What's Pogba, 30 or 29, is it? 29, 30?
31 or something, isn't he, now?
But has the passing range, is a natural athlete, not played for 2 years, would have kept himself fit, has something to prove. I don't think, with the wages and how City would be, if they gave him a contract at the end of the year, I don't see how they'd lose. If they wanted to bring someone in from the youth team, they would have done that already. What? I could point that to why bringing Gundogan back then.
You know what I mean? Is he a City player, though? Is he a City caliber player at this stage of his career? Just having been out for 2 years and was dreadful at Man United. And as a sub question, is there an issue going between sides of Manchester?
It wasn't for Peter Schmeichel. If Schmeichel can do it, who's a United legend still, Pogba was a United Academy product and left for free, and they bought him back for 80 million. He can't control that. But in regards to, is he a City player? Is he faster than Gundogan and Kovacic and probably De Bruyne? I'd probably say yes, he's faster than all three. Is he as good a passer as those three? Not De Bruyne, but definitely the other two. Could he get as physical as those? Not as. I don't think he's getting as physical as Kovacic does, but I reckon the other two. So
I think
he's offering.
I think he's inconsistent, to be honest.
But and then just to go back to the point about how was it Man United for the last 10 years has been a player graveyard. Harry Maguire went there, graveyard. Rashford played one good year, got a new contract, graveyard. Casemiro, graveyard. De Ligt, graveyard. It's been a graveyard for players to go there and destroy. So to point at Pogba for that one instance, I think I get it from looking at it until you look at the full figure. It's like one of those where, David Nugent's England's most successful striker. And then you look at it, played 6 minutes, scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what you'd look at. And with a team with Pogba's ability on the ball, don't forget, that's the last thing to go. You on the ball is the last thing to go. He could do absolute bits for Man City. And he'd be one of the things. He'd be a threat in both boxes. He'd be challenging Souček for the Ballon Ball. No, the Ballon Box.
Ballon the box. Ballon the box. Listen, Man City fans, let us know. I would have saved that as a controversial opinion at the end. Let us know what you think about Paul Pogba coming to your team. Man United have been a graveyard and they have lost a bit of steel in midfield. You know what they missed, don't you? You know what they miss? Super Roy Keane. I'll wait for you in a car park. Did you see that? Did you see him having a go? I'll be waiting in a car park. Did you see him having a go at the Ipswich fan?
No.
And we didn't see the preamble, and we don't know what he said. And the fan, and I suppose you have to deal with a lot of mouth, a lot of barracking or whatever from opposition fans and whatnot. But for him to have gone over and got involved in that, you do wonder what was said. But you've seen pictures and you've heard about the fallout from it. And so to give us your opinion on that.
I've seen the pictures of it. You know what? It's one of those where there's a lot of security around. Is it just one of those, it's been said for show? Is it a genuine, serious thing? Yeah, I think it's just for show. I think it's just one of those things there's a story. I don't know if you heard the story with Neil Lennon. You heard the one about Keane when he went to Celtic?
No.
So Neil Lennon's friend tells the story. So Neil Lennon got him a ticket for a game. And he's Keane. I think it was Keane's second game. If it was a cup game or a first game, might have been. And this guy is just giving Keane loads, calling him a gypsy, saying all this, you're rubbish and all this, giving him stuff. And Keane's just eyeballing him as he's playing, like just looking him dead in the eye. And then the guys messaged Neil Lennon and said, "Can I? Any chance you can sort me out a shirt?" So he goes, "Yeah. Come round, jump in the car, I'll give you a shirt." So the guy's gone round, jumped into Lennon's car, and as he sat down, boom, arm around the back of the neck. Roy Keane's in the back of the car, choking life out of him. Lennon starts laughing, then realised the guy's actually going blue. You have to say, Roy, stop. And Keane whispered in his ear, probably, "Who's a gypsy bastard now?" What? What, Keane?
I like that. Why should people get away with that? Like me on stage, you get that. And people think that you're on TV or behind a sheet of glass. Like, I can hear what you're saying. You're insulting me at work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people should be allowed to get away with that, especially on this holiday island where tourists leave their brains at the airport and lose their inhibitions and they get on the strong beer and the sun on their head all day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't, manners and respect is a thing. So,
yeah, we've seen it. I see it a lot on the bar front of it as well. I mean, one of the things that people don't understand, it might be, and this actually goes back to Keane as well. This is a controversial one. Where did you hear about the conversation that they were having with Roy Keane at the overlap? It was Roy Keane, Gary Neville, it's not Jill Scott. I can't remember the other woman that used to play for England, and someone else. They were talking about a charity game. No. It's the striker. Can't remember her name.
Oh,
but
Michelle scored a load of goals. Striker.
Yeah. So they're talking on there.
Kelly Smith. Kelly.
No, I don't think it's Kelly Smith. We'll find the link and we'll put it in for the bottom so people can see it. So they're having a chat. She played in a charity game, and she goes, "Oh, played against that Marlon Harewood, absolutely smashed me." Right, and Roy Keane went, "Yeah, but how was the football?" Right, and that is
Brilliant.
Absolute football banter, right? But could you imagine, right, if that was said on Sky Sports, there'd be a massive fallout.
Yeah.
Right, and it flips to the role reversal thing. So when you've seen, when I've worked with you in other bars, I walk around doing my bits and bobs. You know how many times I get touched on the arse? Like it's crazy, and I just think if that was, I'll try my best. But you can imagine if that was the way around. So and that's where I just think what you're saying there, people just leave their brains at the airport and leave their brains out of the situation. I think I put it down to a little bit of, there's a culture now where you can get away with saying stuff and there's no consequences. And as Mike Tyson used to say, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Exactly. Was that the same bird that Roy Keane said to her, sat about, she said something and he roasted her when you've been in makeup for 2 hours and it's made no difference or something?
Yeah. Keno loves it, don't he? He loves it. But I love that. That is, to me, that is the football patter. It's not intended to offend anyone. It's you're in that situation, and she's got every right to give him back at any situations. And like, if you've seen the ones with Micah Richards get loads of abuse from the players. It's great, but it's never in a way to offend you. It's all in jest. Well, sometimes when we've dealt with stuff, and maybe this fan's done the same thing, you say certain things, and that's not in jest. You don't know me in that way where you can say that, because that's not funny. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what the situation was with Keane, and it's been said, and you think, who are you talking to?
Mate, don't get me started. Don't get me started on Micah Richards. Micah Richards, I thought at under 21, England under 21 level, had the pace, the power, the size, the strength, read the game, could play right back, could play centre back. I think that he is one we've overlooked for wasted English talent, because I think he had all the tools and all the attributes to be the best right back the Premier League has seen, right? And I cannot believe that injury has struck him down. He's lost his pace, didn't really get the recognition, and it stopped him being, arguably, I will say, put my neck on the line, one of the top 3 English right backs we've ever produced, potentially, and injury stopped him doing that. Think about it.
Top 3? That only means he's above Jamie Carragher. There ain't bar Neville and Walcott. Who else is there?
Oh no! Did I say centre back? I meant right backs. Right back.
That's sorry. I mean, bar from Walcott and Neville, there's not really been any other outstanding apart from Trent now. But Trent's not finished. He's not finished yet.
No. Right, so he's definitely I'm saying he's definitely in the top 3. I think he had the potential to be better than Kyle Walker. Not as fast, but the potential to be a better defender than Kyle Walker. I'd say he was definitely on course to be better than Neville. He was a unit.
I'm on course to be better than Neville, so less than that.
Well, there's 2 of your 3 that you listed.
Yeah. Well, devil's avocado to that then, right? Why would you say he's not hit success? Because he's won 3 Premiership titles, 3 League Cups, I think 2 FA Cups. He's represented his country. He was the youngest defender to ever represent his country. When you say the point of the injury...
What, was younger than Rio?
Yeah, he was younger than Rio when he played for England.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you say he could have been the better, well, he chose to leave Manchester City, where he could have had all the training, all the correct medical. He chose to go to Aston Villa to play, rather than getting 100 grand a week instead at Man City, where he could have been playing. I mean, bear in mind, I think the year after he left, Zabaleta left, and he was competing with Zabaleta. So when you say about that, Zabaleta kept him out. As good as Zabaleta was, Zabaleta's not talked about as a great. So how could he really have gone any further? I mean, he was good in centre midfield. Maybe Micah Richards' problem was he didn't nail one position. He was sort of like, I can play centre back, I can play this, I can play there. And then when you talk about him losing his pace, Well, we've got players like Di, one of your lot, never really fast. So, but good was good. Bobby Moore was never really fast, but he was good. So why couldn't you be? Yeah, why couldn't you be a great defender without pace? Don't get me wrong, it helps. Maldini played till 39. He lost his pace at 29. Yeah. So when you look at that, I think Kyle, as much as I love Mika, and I hope he watches this because I love Mika, I just don't think he had the mentality to be the top defender. I don't think he had that in his head. Like, if you look at it, he's more, I think he was an attacking defender, where most attacking defenders shine bright and they fizzle out quite quickly, because when it comes to defending, the bread and butter they don't have. And this is where, when you say about Trent, I think you'll be so surprised how good of a defender Trent is, because I watch him as a defender while you see him out of position because of what he's doing attacking wise. I see him when he's defending. I mean, fair enough, it was against Antony, but we'll talk about something else.
See, I'm open-minded enough to trust your opinion on that, because everybody told us we were overrating Declan Rice and that he didn't do anything. But when you watch him every week, you see that he is like pivotal, crucial.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Arsenal, and now they watch him every week. Half of them are saying we've stolen him off you, 105 million's a bargain, and half of them are saying, oh, he's really improved at Arsenal. He hasn't. He's doing the same thing at Arsenal, except now you watch him each week. So I can understand that. You know what I mean?
I think it's a media thing. So sometimes the media will pick a player or pick a manager, and they'll just go, we're going to convince people we don't like him. And I think that's why certain players will get in the England squad at certain times. Crouch, when Liverpool signed him, was near the England squad. As soon as Liverpool signed him, he was an England star.
Yes, if your face fits.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So, yeah, I think something like that. I think that's what the issue is with Trent, and I think that's what the issue was with Mika in a slightly different way. I think Mika hit the heights he was going to hit because of his mindset as a footballer, not as a person or anything like that. I just think as a footballer, he had, because I remember his first game, the interview he had was, everyone said how mature he sounded, because he said about, so what is your best position? He goes, well, I started right back because of this, and then I'm hoping to move into midfield, and then towards the latter part of my career, I'll go into defence. And I just think, yes, that's on the outside of it. Yeah, that's an interview question. That's an interview answer. That is not a football question, where really, I don't think it's an arrogant thing. I think it's just the misguidedness to think that you have the ability to play in the Premiership in 3 different positions at that level, when, bearing in mind, let's look at Micah Richards. He's not known for his passing. He's basically known for being physical, being quick, and bombing past people. Never really a passer, never really a reader of the game, never really a threat going forward on the floor. Was good at corners because of his size. He usually got picked against the small man. So I think that was a media thing being pushed on. This is going to be England's greatest, brightest hope. I think he hit his level, and that's not a diss. I think he hit his level.
So you don't think that he had the capability to play 3 different positions in the Premier League?
No.
Hang on. I'll give you Philip Neville.
Yeah. Was a better passer. Had a better football brain.
Stop.
Micah Richards?
Yeah. He weren't a better football brain than Micah Richards.
He had a better football brain, not a better
He was a utility player. He was the divvy brother.
And do you know how hard it is to play in multiple positions? One, it's the fitness. People don't understand. I did it. My old manager used to say to me, you're a nuisance to have, because I just pick my best team, and where the weakest player is, you'll play. Right? And it's so frustrating when you don't know what position you turn up to play, right? Phil Neville, what positions did he play?
Played right back, left back, centre back, midfield, didn't he? Holding midfield, played on the right wing.
Was he ever fast?
No.
That proves my argument for Micah Richards. Micah Richards had more tools, but didn't have the football brain to read those situations and be able to adapt.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Phil Neville was any good in any of them positions. He could play 7 positions and was shit in all of them.
But made a career out of it. Micah Richards.
Yeah, but utility players do. But I'll tell you, I'll bet you a fucking pound to your penny, Tommy's not coming on putting them in his 1 to 11.
I'll bet you a pound to penny Micah Richards doesn't make anyone's Man City's 1 to 11.
No, but not for Man City. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Listen.
Would Phil Neville potentially make an Everton 1 to 11?
No.
Well, good news. I have an Everton fan to join us one day. So we'll get the Everton fan on and it'll give us it. I don't think, if I had my choice, I don't think Phil Neville would be there, but I think it'll be an honourable mention. He'll be on the bench.
Be an honourable mention, I think, just for that utility sort of player. Right, listen, have you got an unpopular opinion for me off the cuff? I've given you a couple already. I've got one if you want one.
Go on, throw it at me. What you got?
Sean Wright-Phillips was a better technical player than Raheem Sterling.
No, not having that. Not having that.
Why?
You know why? Right? I would put this down purely again to a media thing. Sean Wright-Phillips, technically wise in striking a ball outside the box, yes. But technically as a footballer, I mean, in regards to dribbling, weak foot, shooting, composure, passing, not a chance.
Take away Sterling's pace.
Sean Wright-Phillips was fast.
Does he play for those teams he's played for?
Take away Sean Wright-Phillips' pace. Does he play football at all?
Still a better technical. You've just said he still strikes the ball better, shoots better, finishes better.
Outside the box. Look at Sterling going inside the box. So Sterling inside the box.
You think he was an all-round better finisher than Sterling?
No, Sterling's a better finisher. Sean Wright-Phillips has a better shot outside the box. Sean Wright-Phillips never really scored inside. Go on.
I think Sterling was you're using your argument, the media darling version of Tony Daly.
Harsh, because the media didn't like him.
No, but Tony Daly was all pace and he relied on it and he got in positions and he tapped it in. But I mean, how many stunning? I mean, you'll know because you've seen him again every week. So I'm contradicting myself. How many stunning crosses or through balls or defence opening passes does he make? He's a 1-2 merge. Gets to the line with pace.
It's a skill. Well, you just said about Mickey Richards. It's a skill. You've still got to do it. You've still got to get the pass. You've got to get into the byline and pick the right pass. If you're playing that, don't forget, when he did this, he was at the Man City team against teams which would drop deep all the time. So you had to be technically good enough to receive the ball from players like your De Bruyne's and your Aguero's and your David Silva's on pinging passes that you were not even looking for. You need to be aware. And he got in that team and he was good in that team. He picked out assists. He'd also ping a shot in. He was getting himself in positions. Technically dribbling, he was better than Wright-Phillips. He could go either foot. Yes, he's definitely a better dribbler. Sean Wright-Phillips was a kick and run merchant. Sterling had a skill. He had a step over. Sterling, don't forget, I'm talking about the Sterling when we had him at Liverpool and he dropped into that 10 role and he caused murder. And then the next week he'd go and play right wing back.
Wright-Phillips was both footed though.
No, he weren't.
You don't think?
Wright-Phillips was a right midfielder. His brother could use both feet.
I was going to say about Bradley Wright-Phillips. Did you see how many goals he scored in the MLS?
Yeah, he was record goal scorer for a couple of years, wasn't he? In the whole of MLS.
Unbelievable.
I don't know who he is now, but yeah, he played up front with Thierry Henry.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Have you got an unpopular opinion for me or a quiz question or something to finish off?
I guess who for you again?
Go on then. And who am I, yeah?
Yeah, and who am I? So this one, I have you with... Who am I?
Who am I? Who am I? Go on then.
It's not him. It's not Harry Kane. Right. Sorry, it just popped up on me again.
Alicia Lane. Seymour Butts.
Seymour Butts. I'd love to. Right, so I'm going to give you. You've got 4 clues, right? One of them will give it away, but fuck it, you can guess it. 4 clues, right? One of them will be the final clue because you'll get it, right? So you can pick a number 1 to 4, and then if you still haven't got it by the 4th, I'll give you the final clue. Right. Who am I? Guess who? Talk to me.
Number 4.
Number 4, after hanging up his boots, he transitioned into coaching and is currently managing a non-league club in England.
Okay, so as a stab in the dark, could be anyone. I'm going to go, wouldn't it be funny if I got this? A non-league club in England, hanging up his boots. I'm going to go Alan Devonshire, who you've probably never heard of.
It's not Alan Devonshire.
Right. Okay.
Gives another number. We've got 1 to 3. Number 2. Known for his energetic style and defensive skills, he was named in the Premier League Team of the Year during his time at Wigan.
Yeah. Oh, no, hang on.
That's another one I thought you'd get. There's two I thought you would give it straight away.
Titus Bramble.
No. One or two.
One.
Represented France at the 2006 World Cup, although he didn't play in the tournament. Did France win the World Cup in 2006? Did he win a World Cup?
No, 98 Euros.
Yeah,
98.
no, 2006 was Spain.
Yeah. I can't think of that Wigan team. Martinez was manager, wasn't he?
For some point, Steve Bruce was also there, don't forget.
Yeah. What French players would have played?
You've got some good information so far. So he was in the Premier League Team of the Year, known for his defensive skills, represented France at the 2006 World Cup, although didn't play. And after hanging up his boots, is currently coaching in England at a non-league club. You've got one more clue, which probably won't help. I'll give you this one anyway, then the one I think you'll get. He was born in Guadeloupe. He initially played international football for Guadeloupe national team before switching to France. You've got one more clue, and I think you'll get it straight away on this one.
Give us the last clue then, because I'm struggling with this one.
This French right back played for Premier League clubs Wigan Athletic, Tottenham Hotspur, and Blackburn Rovers.
Still don't know.
Oh, you beauties, right. Talk to me. Ask me questions. I'll help you out. Ask me questions. So you already know now he's a French right back who played in Wigan's peak year to get in the Team of the Year. He's currently coaching in non-league and played for Wigan, Tottenham, and Blackburn.
Fucking hell. So I'm just trying to think of French right backs. It won't be Lilian Thuram. It won't be William Gallas.
Did they play for Wigan, Blackburn, and Tottenham?
No, that's what I mean. No, they didn't. I can't even think of that Wigan team.
Ask me questions.
So I'm guessing he's a black skin, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the origins.
Yeah, Guadalupe. Come on, anything else? You'll be shocked when I say it as well, because I tell you what, let me give you a clue.
Go on then.
If you strike a ball and it hits your shin, some people might shout David Schindler. If other people might shout this player's name.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. I've got no idea. It's a loss for me.
Pascal Chimbonda. Pascal Chimbonda.
Never would have got that.
You never would have got Pascal.
Never would have got that. Never would have got that.
Pascal was a G.
Really?
I thought you'd have got him. Yeah, Pascal was a G, mate.
I don't remember him at all. And how many obscure players do we talk about? And I don't remember him at all.
Do you know where that one come from? I spoke to a customer today. He was a Portsmouth fan, and he was giving me a bit of jip because I was a Liverpool fan. And he went, "Oh, I bet you don't even know any of your players. I bet you don't know John Barnes or like that. I bet you don't know any of your players. I bet you don't know about Robert Prozinecke." And he went, "Oh, no, he was a player." Instant respect.
Yeah. No. Is that your last one, or you got any more?
I can give you another one if you want.
No, we'll do it next time, I think, because I've got to do the West Ham podcast in a bit. So yeah, that's a lot for me. After nailing the Baggio one, and who else was it? Who was your other one?
You got Di Canio yesterday, didn't you? Di Canio was a war.
You got Di Canio and we got Baggio.
You got the Baggio from converting to Buddhism. That's ridiculous.
No, what is something to do with converting to Buddhism and became a fucking ambassador for United Nations or something?
Yeah. You didn't get. Yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, that sounds like Roberto Baggio. What?
But it weren't even from that. It was from because it was called the Divine Ponytail. I had two in my head. One was Ibra, one was Baggio. You know what I mean? So I just went for the. And the first one, the first person that popped into my head was Di Canio. And when you said about being born in Rome, playing for the local club, I thought, well, that's either Roma or Lazio. And I thought, it might be Di Canio. And I thought, I'm too like West Ham bias. So I was like, okay, this is a Roma legend. I went, right, let's have Totti. And you went, it's not Totti. And then I was like, Canio, next guest.
Got to be Decans, in it, yeah.
Mate, another good episode. Let us know. We've had some controversial opinions tonight. I think the most controversial, and you should have saved as a controversial opinion, is Pogba on a free to Man City. So I'm interested to know what people say about that.
Again, I just don't see where Man City would lose that. I just don't see where they would lose in that sort of situation of bringing him in for what he's got. He's not played for 2 years, so he's going to be fresh. He's going to be ready to play. He just needs to get match fit. In that team, he has attributes that other players can't do. With De Bruyne's injury record, with the injuries they've got to Rodri, if he's not going to put it in youth, that to me would be someone you could bring in 5 days' time. He could be there at the Liverpool game and he could be ready to play and be in that team and offer you something in no time.
How long does it take him to get up to speed after 2 years out?
Depends what he's been doing in the meantime. He doesn't look like an unfit man.
No, it depends on that, because it may be that by the time he's playing, the January window's open. And the second thing is, I think make or break is the wages he wants.
I generally don't think he'd want a lot. I think it'd be one of those where, I mean, he's talking of going to Marseille. Marseille, I've got some money at the minute because they've brought in Greenwood. They've got the old Brighton manager, who was the Deserber. He's there at the minute.
Yeah.
So they've got some money, but if he had the chance of going to prove everybody wrong at Man United and by going to Manchester City and doing what Ronaldo didn't do, Ronaldo went with his heart. If he'd gone with his head, Ronaldo would probably still be at City now.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, well, let us know. Shout out to Beanie for his great comments on the last episode about the fans, loyal fans, or local ties, or whether you should pick your team or your team picks you. So shout out for his comment. We'll get him on again soon. Going to try and do a 1 to 11 in the next couple of days. Get that stacked up. I'm away to do a tour in England and Scotland, so going to try and get as many of these in the bank as we can. As usual, like and subscribe, comment. Trying to build it up. I'm going to be putting both episodes up tonight on Spotify, the last one and this one, so you can listen on that. Anything else to say? Yeah,
all those people that have messaged and sent me messages and sent you messages saying, because we had a couple of weeks off during International Week, saying, you're not doing an episode. Why are you not doing another one? Well, I've not listened to you. Bro, you got to like and subscribe to keep us engaged. If we don't think people are listening, we'll take a couple of weeks off and have a refresh. But we need to know you're interested. Give us 100%. A comment. Give us a topic. I mean, Deck, my man Deck, you're a Blackburn man. Come and give us your Blackburn 1 to 11. Just because we say Premier League era,
you could have.
Right, you could have a team. You don't have to be in the Premier League, just from the Premier League era. So if you want to bring in man like two guy, bring in man like two guy. If you want Brett Emerson at right back, bring in. If you want big Rocky Santa Cruz and big Christopher Samba in there, fucking do it. I mean, could you imagine Christopher Samba and Colin Hendry at the back? Ooh, Graham Lasso on the left.
The demolition squad. Right, listen, let us know. Yeah, I totally agree. All the people that message me as well. You ain't done an episode. Well, look, I'm not seeing your comments. It don't cost nothing to subscribe. Just fucking hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and it spurs us on. And it helps the algorithm on YouTube present this on other people's options.
Spurs us
Harry Kane, when he was a wrestler. What else would you want to watch? But yeah, thanks for joining us. Another good episode. Until next time on
Opinions from Offside.
We'll see you soon. Keep balling, baby.